welcome to my channel, Random Annie's channel. I appreciate you being here. If you are new here, it would greatly be appreciated if you went out and check out my other content on my channel to see if it's worth subscribing to. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to click that bell for notifications of future videos. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome to the video. Let's get into my video. The first movie that in my list of my favorite nostalgia type films are Rescuers Down Under. I absolutely love Rescuers Down Under. It's the sequel to the original Rescuers, but this one I just absolutely grew up with. In every time I went over to my grandparents' house, they had it on VHS, and I would watch it almost every single time. It's pretty great. It's had some great animation, great shots and whatever, but the music and just it being an adventure flick in Australia, it's pretty great. And then up next is Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. I absolutely adore this movie. It's not the original, but it's the remake of The Incredible Journey. And this nostalgia for this is just incredible. Like, seeing the dog, the cat, and just go on this adventure, you know, from one side of the mountain to the other. And that end scene is just so good as they run towards each other, the kid and the dog, excited that they're reunited and all that kind of stuff. It's so good. And then up next is We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. Probably one of my favorites that I saw. It's weird. I believe I saw this for the first time at an eye appointment when I was younger. They had this room and they had this little TV for kids, and they had We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. I mean, come on, dinosaurs. You got cartoons. It's by Steven Spielberg. It's animation and whatever, and so you got John Goodman and all that kind of good stuff. And I absolutely adore this movie still. I actually own it on DVD too. So, and then up next is a personal favorite of mine that is just so nostalgia. Lassie. I know a lot of people have never seen this, but I gotta say it's pretty intense. It's pretty sad too. But it's sad that I can relate to the kid in this movie. It's just, it's just so good. And then up next is a family classic. Me and my sisters just quote this movie all the time. Angels in the Outfield. Oh man, like we're just quoting. It's like, you peed the bed last week, you pea brain. It could happen. Or yeah, it could happen. It's just absolutely hilarious. Me and my sisters just adore this movie. And then up next is Baby's Day Out, another classic that me and my sisters just enjoy. If you've never seen this, give it a watch. It is pretty hilarious. It's basically a baby. It's kind of like, it's basically Home Alone, but the baby version. This baby is basically kidnapped, and these bad guys forget about the baby, and the baby crawls away, and then they go on this adventure through New York to catch him and whatever. It's just stupid, but it's hilarious at the same time. And then we have Richie Rich. I mean, how can you just not enjoy Richie Rich for what it is? Like, holy cow. He has his own McDonald's, and he has his own amusement park in the backyard. He has this machine where you can get, like, food and whatever, all that kind of stuff. Macaulay Culkin is just great in this. It's absolutely nice. I love the theme, too. It's pretty fantastic. And then up next is a personal favorite of mine with The Pagemaster. This is also another one that was in my grandparents' basement that I would watch a lot too. Got Macaulay Culkin again, and this is a cartoon / live action hybrid film, and it's got Christopher Lloyd as the page master. Oh my word! This kid, he goes on adventures through books and whatever. There's like a lot of cameos and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty interesting. And then we have The Swan Princess, directed by Richard Rich. You got all the classic songs. You got some beautiful animation. You got John Bob. You got the frog. You got the turtle. Oh my word! Like, I know this is more like a girly film, but I have 5 sisters. What you gonna do? And then this is my personal favorite, The Jungle Book. This is my personal favorite version of The Jungle Book. It's it's basically The Jungle Book / Home Alone, because basically what happens, like, towards the end, it basically becomes a Home Alone when Mowgli is running away from these bad guys, and he knows the jungle more than they do, and yeah. And then up next is a classic that I think is pretty great, Casper. You got Christina Ricci in here, and this is produced by Steven Spielberg. You got cameos with Clint Eastwood and Mel Gibson. And then you have like a really cool cameo from the Ghostbusters, which from when I was younger, had never seen the Ghostbusters, but knowing that now, it's kind of cool. And then a personal favorite cartoon of mine, The Pebble and the Penguin. Got a lot of great songs. You got Martin Short in here voicing one of the penguins. You got a lot of songs. It seems to be what it used to be back in the day with cartoons from the 90s. And then we have The Indian in the Cupboard. I actually saw this maybe 10 years ago, but like I still have nostalgia for it, even though I saw it like 10 years ago. But it's so cool. Like, it's one of those films that is so totally the 90s. It's got the 90s tropes and all that kind of stuff. You have small toys coming alive and all that kind of stuff, and it's really neat. And then we have a Disney favorite, A Kid in King Arthur's Court. A kid from Brooklyn goes and gets knocked out and goes into time and goes into King Arthur's time and whatever, and he like shows them all this modern day stuff, and it's pretty hilarious. I have huge nostalgia for it. And then we have Dunstan Checks In, a family favorite of mine, as well as my family's, obviously. Basically, a monkey gets loose, and this kid finds him in the hotel, and a bunch of hilariousity just goes around in the hotel with the kid and the monkey. And then we have another personal favorite, Tom and Huck. If you've never seen this, it's about Tom Sawyer, and it's basically the gist of the Tom and Huck story, but Disney-fied. It's really good. And then up next is Space Jam. I mean, come on. Do I really need to say anything more? It's Space Jam, guys. And then we have Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. A nice favorite of mine that I always would watch on VHS back in the day. I still kind of watch it every now and again with my nieces and nephews, and they enjoy it too. It's a pretty nice adventure classic with Winnie the Pooh. Then we have the remake Flubber with Robin Williams. Can't go wrong with Robin Williams. I mean, it's Disney, but it's Disney-fied, but it can't go wrong really most of the time with Robin Williams. Flubber. And then we have me and my sisters absolutely adore Mouse Hunt. If you've never seen this, it's hilarious. It's about a couple of guys who are down on their luck and just find this home that their father left them, and so they go in and renovate it and whatever, and they find this mouse that is just causing havoc and whatever. The theme is great. The movie is pretty hilarious too. I would highly recommend going to watch it. Then we have Small Soldiers. Basically a action adventure flick, which is actually, it's crazy. This movie is rated PG-13, and I actually was allowed to watch this. Probably because I was in my nana's basement and they didn't know about it. But it's so good. It's basically about toys coming alive and going havoc and whatever. It's so good. And then we have probably one of the best versions of Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. It's pretty incredible with what they do with the story and how dark it gets. Oh my word, it gets dark. And so what happens is just amazing for a cartoon. Up next is Ants. I'm nostalgic for this because it's kind of like Bug's Life, but not. It's more an adult version. It's got Woody Allen, Sylvester Stallone, and Sharon Stone. And I believe Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. And the animation is okay, but it's so good. And then we have Stuart Little, with Michael J. Fox voicing Stuart. You have Nathan Lane, who has a hilarious voice with the cat, and it's a nice little adventure flick for the kids. And then we have Chicken Run. I think I remember seeing this. I have very faint memories of seeing this in the theater when it came out, and it's so good with all the chickens trying to escape and learning how to fly with Mel Gibson's character and all that kind of stuff. It's what ensues is just hilarious. And then we have, don't judge me on this at all. Don't judge me on this. Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I mean, I just randomly saw this. I think I can't remember. I just randomly saw it, but I can't remember where I randomly saw it. But it became a favorite of mine when I was younger. And I actually own it on DVD. I actually watched it a few months ago. It was hilarious. But yeah, I kind of have nostalgia for this. And then, what can go wrong? Come on, Spy Kids. I mean, yeah, 2 and 3 though, but Spy Kids? The original? I remember seeing this in the theater with my sisters and my grandmother. And, man, so good. Then we got Cats and Dogs. Tobey Maguire voicing one of the dogs. Jeff Goldblum is in this. Who's being just all Jeff Goldbloomy. Basically, dogs finding out cats are trying to take over the world, and what ensues is hilarious. And then my personal favorite of mine, probably what I think is the best Scooby-Doo movie, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Man, this movie kind of gave me nightmares when I was younger for some odd reason. I don't know why Zombie Island didn't give me nightmares, but this one, personal favorite of mine. It's just so good. Them going into a video game and learning how to go through each level. It's just great. And then we have Stuart Little 2. I mean, both the first one and the second one. Come on. The second one, I think, is actually better than the original. I actually believe the second one is actually better than the original. And so what in this movie is just so big and so adventurous. It's pretty great. Then we have Jonah, a VeggieTales movie, which for me, this movie gets me every time because of nostalgia of how much I saw it and how many times I've seen it with my family and all that kind of stuff. Oh my word, like VeggieTales was the thing when we grew up. Can't go wrong with VeggieTales. Then we have a weird, interesting favorite, Kangaroo Jack. I'm Jackie Legs, and I'd like to say hello. Oh man, yeah, it's pretty quotable. My sisters always would watch it, and there's actually one scene that's actually kind of surprising that it's in it. It's like, whoa! If you've seen it and you know what I'm talking about, comment down below. And then we have Spy Kids 3D Game Over. This one I've seen more than the first Spy Kids. It's so enjoyable, even though it's so bad. And Sylvester Stallone doing what he does in this movie is just so weird, but it's good for what it is, even though it's bad at the same time. And then up next is G.I. Joe Valor vs. Venom. This one's an interesting yeah, this is interesting. I remember the animation being incredible back in the day, but oh my gosh, if you see it now, it is awful. It is awful. And then we have Racing Stripes. Man, if you have seen this and know about what I'm talking about when I talk about the flies, it's hilarious. But Racing Stripes, it's a pretty fun flick about a racing horse, and they try to race a zebra and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. And last but not least, we have Fat Albert. Hey, hey, hey! It's Fat Albert. Well, get to see that. This movie's so quotable, and so remember we would always borrow this from Family Video whenever. Yeah, anybody else remember renting movies from the rental store? Not anymore. But this is one of those that we just rent so many times. Oh my word, it's absolutely hilarious. But what just ensues, and the quotable lines like "Dividend, look, we're on dividend. What's dividend?" Anyways, but yeah, Fat Albert, Small Soldiers, Stuart Little, Space Jam, all those movies, just so much nostalgia for me. And that was my video of nostalgia for you guys. If I want to reiterate what I said earlier, if you are new here, go ahead and check out the channel and click subscribe if you think it's worth subscribing to. Don't forget to click that bell as well. And if you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate you guys. Stay random.